Imagine you wake up one morning and see this number on your paycheck. $100,000 a year. You made it. No more worrying about being broke. No more checking your bank account before ordering dinner. No more thinking twice about a $50 purchase. At least that's what you expected. But then something strange happens. You get the $100,000 salary, and somehow you still feel broke. Your apartment is nicer. Your car is newer. Your vacations are better. You eat at better restaurants. You have more subscriptions. And somehow, at the end of the month, you're staring at your bank account thinking, "Where did all the money go?" This is the $100,000 salary trap. And the scary part is that it doesn't feel like a trap when you're inside it. It feels like success. Because when your income rises, your brain quietly changes what it considers normal. And today, we're going to break down exactly how that happens, why a $100,000 salary can still leave you financially stuck, and how to make sure your bigger paycheck actually turns into wealth. Let's say there's a person named Alex. Alex is 27 years old and finally lands a job paying $100,000 a year. A few years ago, Alex was making $55,000. Back then, Alex lived in a small apartment. The car wasn't impressive, but it worked. Eating out was an occasional treat, and whenever Alex received a paycheck, there was a simple question: do I really need this? Now the salary doubles. And suddenly, the questions change. Instead of, "Can I afford this?" the question becomes, "Can I afford the monthly payment?" That's a very different question. Alex moves into a more expensive apartment. Then comes the nicer car. Then better furniture. Then more expensive vacations. Then food delivery. Then subscriptions. Then a few upgrades that seem completely reasonable. And here's the interesting part. Alex isn't necessarily being irresponsible. Every individual decision makes sense. An extra $400 for a nicer apartment? I'm making $100,000 now. A $600 car payment? I can handle it. A $200 monthly gym and wellness membership? I'm investing in myself. A $1,500 vacation? I deserve it. And that's how lifestyle inflation works. It rarely arrives as one giant financial mistake. It arrives as 100 small upgrades that slowly become your new normal. Here's something fascinating about human psychology. We don't experience money in absolute terms. We experience it relative to what we're used to. Imagine someone who has lived on $40,000 a year suddenly earning $100,000. At first, they feel rich. But after a few years, something happens. That $100,000 doesn't feel rich anymore. It feels normal. And if their salary eventually reaches $120,000, they may feel the same excitement again. For a while. Then $120,000 becomes normal. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the quietest wealth killers because it doesn't feel painful. You don't feel like you're spending too much. You simply feel like you're living the life your income allows. And that's exactly the problem. Because your income can increase, while your ability to build wealth barely changes. There's another problem people don't talk about. $100,000 is not the same thing as $100,000 of spending power. If you earn $100,000, taxes take a portion. Then you have housing, transportation, insurance, food, utilities, healthcare, debt payments, subscriptions, entertainment, and all the random expenses that somehow appear every month. So the person earning $100,000 isn't actually walking around with $100,000 available to spend. But psychologically, the number still feels huge. That's because we anchor on the salary number. We hear "I make six figures," and our brain translates that into "I'm wealthy." But income and wealth are completely different things. Income is the money coming in. Wealth is the money you actually keep and grow. You could earn $200,000 a year and have very little wealth. And you can earn $70,000 a year and quietly build a substantial financial cushion. The difference isn't always income. It's what happens after the money arrives. Let's go back to Alex. Alex gets the $100,000 salary. The first upgrade is the apartment. Before the raise, rent was $1,300. After the raise, it's $2,200. That's an extra $900 every month. But Alex thinks, I'm making more money now. Then comes the car. The old car costs $250 per month. The new one costs $650. Another $400. Then restaurants become more frequent. Maybe another $250 a month. Then vacations become more expensive. Another $150 averaged across the year. Then subscriptions, shopping, delivery fees, gadgets, and other lifestyle upgrades add another $200. Suddenly, a huge portion of the salary increase has disappeared. And here's the dangerous part. Alex doesn't feel poorer. Alex feels richer. That's why this trap is so powerful. When you make a bad investment, you can see your account going down. When you buy something expensive, you know you spent the money. But lifestyle inflation hides inside your definition of normal. Now let's take this one step further. Eventually, Alex's lifestyle becomes expensive enough that the $100,000 salary isn't optional anymore. Alex needs the job. Because the rent depends on it. The car payment depends on it. The vacations depend on it. The lifestyle depends on it. And now something strange has happened. The higher salary was supposed to create freedom. Instead, it created dependence. This is sometimes called the golden handcuff effect. The salary is high. The lifestyle is comfortable. But walking away becomes incredibly difficult. Imagine getting offered your dream job. It pays $70,000. You would love the work. You'd have more freedom. Maybe less stress. But you can't take it. Because your lifestyle requires $100,000. So the bigger paycheck didn't necessarily buy freedom. It bought a more expensive life. Most people calculate the price of an upgrade. They don't calculate its future cost. Let's say you increase your monthly spending by $1,000. You might think, it's only $1,000. But $1,000 every month is $12,000 every year. And if that $1,000 could have been invested for decades, the opportunity cost becomes much larger. That's the hidden cost. Every permanent lifestyle upgrade doesn't just cost money today. It can also cost you future wealth, and there's another psychological problem. Once you upgrade your lifestyle, downgrading feels like losing something. Suppose you move from a $1,500 apartment to a $2,500 apartment. After 2 years, that $2,500 apartment feels normal. Now imagine moving back to $1,500. Even though you're saving $1,000 every month, your brain doesn't experience it as saving. It experiences it as, I'm going backward. That's loss aversion. Humans tend to feel losses more strongly than equivalent gains. So lifestyle inflation can become sticky. Going up feels easy. Going back down feels painful. And this is important. A $100,000 salary is not bad. Making more money is generally a good thing. The problem is believing that a higher income automatically creates financial security. It doesn't. Think of your income like water flowing into a bucket. If the bucket has holes everywhere, adding more water doesn't solve the problem. You need to control the leaks. And the biggest leaks aren't always obvious. They're often recurring expenses. The apartment you pay for every month. The car payment, insurance, debt subscriptions, lifestyle expectations. and the social pressure to keep up with people who appear to be doing better than you. Because once your friends start earning more, your definition of normal can change again. You see someone buying a $70,000 car. Suddenly your $35,000 car feels cheap. You see someone taking luxury vacations. Suddenly your normal vacation feels boring. You see someone buying a house. Suddenly renting feels like failure. And without realizing it, you're no longer spending based on what you value. You're spending based on what you're trying to prove. This is one of the most important money psychology lessons. People don't compare themselves to everyone. They compare themselves to the people around them. If everyone around you earns $40,000, earning $80,000 may feel incredible. But if everyone around you earns $200,000, earning $100,000 might make you feel behind. Your salary hasn't changed. Your perception has. That's why some high-income people constantly feel poor. They're not comparing their lives to their past. They're comparing their lives to someone else's highlight reel. And social media makes this even worse. You see the car. You see the vacation. You see the house. You see the watch. You don't see the debt. You don't see the stress. You don't see the bank balance. You don't see how much of that lifestyle is actually owned. You're comparing your financial reality to someone else's advertisement. So, what should you actually do when your income reaches 6 figures? The first rule is simple. Don't immediately upgrade everything. Give your lifestyle time to catch up slowly. Let's say you were earning $70,000 and suddenly moved to $100K. Instead of immediately spending the entire difference, decide in advance where the extra money goes. Maybe some goes toward investing, some toward an emergency fund, some toward paying off expensive debt. And yes, some can go toward enjoying life. Because money isn't supposed to make you miserable. The goal isn't to live like you're still earning $30,000. The goal is to make sure your lifestyle doesn't consume every additional dollar you earn. Here's a simple concept that can completely change your financial life. Create a gap between what you earn and what you spend. If you earn $100,000 and spend $99,000, your income looks impressive, but your wealth-building engine is weak. If you earn $100,000 and spend $70,000, you have a much larger gap. That gap can be used to build assets. And assets are what eventually give you options. Investments, retirement accounts, cash reserves, a business, skills that increase future income, things that can grow in value or produce income without requiring every hour of your time. That's how you slowly move from working for money to having money work for you. The reverse lifestyle inflation strategy. There's also a simple trick you can use. When your income increases, don't let your lifestyle increase at the same speed. Suppose you receive a $20,000 raise. Instead of thinking, now I can spend $20,000 more. Think, how much of this raise can I keep? Maybe you allow yourself to spend a portion, but automatically direct the rest toward your financial goals. This creates what you could call a wealth gap. And over time, something powerful happens. Your income rises. Your investments rise. Your net worth rises. But your required monthly lifestyle doesn't rise nearly as fast. That gives you something far more valuable than a luxury car: options. Financial freedom isn't necessarily driving the most expensive car. It isn't living in the biggest house. It isn't having a 6-figure salary. Financial freedom is when your life doesn't require you to say yes to every paycheck. It's being able to leave a terrible job, take a career break, handle an emergency, help your family, start a business, invest during a market downturn. Or simply sleep peacefully because one unexpected bill won't destroy you. And ironically, the person who looks less wealthy can sometimes be much more financially free. The person driving the 10-year-old car might have hundreds of thousands invested. The person with the luxury car might have a giant monthly payment. You can't see the difference from the outside. That's why appearances are such a terrible measure of wealth. So, if you're approaching $100,000 or you've already crossed it, here are the questions worth asking. First, what percentage of my income am I actually keeping? Not earning, keeping. Second, which expenses became permanent after my income increased? Look for recurring costs. Housing, cars, subscriptions, debt, lifestyle commitments. Third, if my income disappeared tomorrow, how expensive would my current life be to maintain? That question can be uncomfortable, but it's incredibly revealing. And finally, am I using my higher income to buy things or to buy freedom? Because every dollar has a job. You can use it to increase your lifestyle today, or you can use some of it to increase your options tomorrow. The best answer is usually not one or the other. Enjoy your money, but don't let your lifestyle quietly consume your future. Here's the strange thing about the $100,000 salary trap. The trap isn't earning too much. The trap is earning more and becoming dependent on earning even more. Because if every raise immediately becomes a bigger apartment, a bigger car, a bigger vacation, a bigger monthly payment, then you can spend your entire career chasing the next salary increase. $100K won't feel like enough. Then $150,000 won't feel like enough. Then $200,000 won't feel like enough. Because the finish line keeps moving. But imagine a different path. Your income rises. Your lifestyle improves a little. But your investments grow much faster. Your debt falls. Your savings increase. Your financial stress decreases. And eventually, you reach a point where you don't need to look rich. Because you become financially strong. That's the real goal. Not to have a $100,000 salary. Not to look successful. But to build a life that doesn't require you to constantly prove that you are. Because at the end of the day, a high income can make you look rich, but only the money you keep and grow can make you wealthy.